Another week, another weekly reset. This is the weekly reset where we go over what's happening this week in Warframe for Nightwave, Teshin, and whatnot. And can I say, those insane mushroom posse can really jump. Anyway, I would like to actually first mention that I did it. I don't know if you guys have been reading my community tab posts or on my Twitter or whatnot, but I finally bit the bullet and bought Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 edition with the Star Crossed DLC or whatever it's called. If you want to check out my first opinions, my first impressions on playing it, I have a whole video covering that on my other YouTube channel, Vamp Plays, one of my other YouTube channels anyway. I also did a stream on it, which is also the VOD archived on there as well. But that's up to you if you want to check that out. Definitely feel free to. And if you like my content, you'll probably like that content overall. I do try to talk as much as possible during that as well. And I even have a face cam up there. So yeah, if that tickles your fancy at all, feel free to check it out. Even just watching it is support, and trust me, I need that support. I spent a lot of money on that game. The games are expensive on the Switch too. Games are very expensive on the Switch too. But you know what? Moving on. Let's begin, shall we? And we are beginning with Nightwave, which ends in 7 days and 17 hours. Can I just say this is the closest? I think this is the closest an actual reset on reset day that we're going to get, because usually it like ends on a Wednesday or something, and then you only have 3 days to do the new bounty, and it's like, but really? And then yeah, I don't know what that was, don't ask. But anyway, let's begin with the Nightwave stuff. But we have looked for Ayatane treasures for Morrow in Morrow's Bazaar. Now, I would like to mention, a long time ago, you could only do the quest once, which you can only do it once still, but you can only succeed at once. You can fail how many of the times you need to, okay? You fail, just go to Maru and do it again, Guardian. I had to say Guardian. Until you succeed, Tenno. Until you succeed. Then we have play 3 different Swasagen songs in Devari. I never did it because I am not very good with any kind of instrument, be it a fiddle, be it anything. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, moving on again. Activate the Incarnon form of any Incarnon weapon in mission 5 times, okay? Complete a defense mission reaching at least 12 waves. Kill 30 XMS. Complete 15 missions and kill 500 enemies. These are the regular daily or rather weekly stuff. Just for, playing the game, play Warframe, you're most likely going to get these complete. Unless you literally stay in survival like all the time and do nothing but survival and don't do 15 survivals because you like doing the 5-hour survivals, you might not get this finished, because this only counts every time that complete screen shows up. And if you're doing survival or defense for that matter, if you keep doing them wave after wave, the complete screen doesn't show up. So inlet missions, it won't count it until you're in the mission, and it only counts as one when you're in the mission, which is so unfair, I think. I'm only saying that because survival is like my favorite game type. For now, maybe I'll have a better game type. There's a new game mode coming out. We don't know what it is yet. We will see at the dev stream on Halloween. So, yeah. But anyway, I digress. These are the mods that we get to see. Okay, they aren't bad mods. Physique is probably the standout here. Rejuvenation is okay, I guess. But yeah, physique definitely is the standout here. What's funny is rejuvenation is kind of useless with Archon shards being a thing. But you know what? That's neither here nor there. Okay, not everyone has access to Archon shards. Okay. But speaking of Archon shards, we'll talk a little bit more of that later on. Stay tuned to the video. So yeah, we have alternate helmets here and alternate skins. And then here we have Orkan Catalyst, Orkan Reactor, Kuba, 19 Extract. These are fully built Orkan Catalyst and Orkan Reactors again. Oh yeah, and also I would make sure you guys spend your Nightwave credits, okay? Make sure you spend them, because if you don't spend them, they're not rolling over to the next season. Lord's Night Volume 10 will use different credits than Volume 9, okay? So they aren't like mix and match or something. I'll be honest, I think they should add something where Noah buys your old credits at discount price or something. Like you may not get the full 600, but maybe you'll get half of it, or you may not get the 10, but you'll get 5. Something like that. I feel like it would be better than the system we have now. Let me know what you guys think about that though. Now, let's see what hologram Teshin has to offer, shall we? Oh, Kuba. 5,000 Kuba for 55 still essence. I don't know if that's a good deal. I don't think it is. I have way more than enough Kuba, honestly, but I'm gonna buy it. What could go wrong? Okay, and I'm gonna pick this up too, just because I have a good amount of still essence, because I've been streaming a lot lately and farming the still essence. Let me tell you. I have 1,109 still essence, and that's after buying the stuff I bought right now. So yeah, I'm doing okay with still essence. I mean, ideally we would get more, but hey, what you gonna do, right? What you gonna do? Now for the circuit. Okay, let's see. We have all these Incarnon adapters, but if you have them all like me, or even if you don't have them all and you don't necessarily want to do these, well, I don't know if it shows up if you don't have them all, but if you have them all for sure, you can actually just go over here and pick the stuff. I usually pick, well, I usually pick Kuba, so I always, just in case I do these. I rarely do these. And yeah, oh, but I did forget normal. Normal will be a bit out of order this time, okay? It's not my fault, guys. It's totally my fault. Okay, so for the non-still path variant of the circuit, you can choose between Hero, Octavia, and Nidus. I am choosing Octavia because it doesn't really matter for me, but I recommend you pick Hero or Nidus, considering both of those are harder to get than Octavian. So it's entirely your choice when it comes to that. Archon Hunt. This week, you'll get this Archon shard for completing the whole hunt. That means part 1, 2, and 3, which we'll go over in a moment. This is the percentage that it had to be Talford. So while it's not guaranteed Talford, you do have a guaranteed at least regular variant of this. So that's good at least. And then the things that you're going to complete are mobile defense for part 1, hunt and Archon Hunt defense for part 2, and final showdown in part 3, where you'll face off against the Archon, and whoever wins gets the Archon shard. And I guess it's worth noting that the Archon shard is the Archon's power source. So yeah, take that with as you will for the totally 100% family friendly game. Anyway, so yeah, and the game kind of sometimes counts as an assassination, sometimes it doesn't. So keep that in mind, 50-50 with that. Now that we are in the Sanctum, let's check out Bird 3, where I mentioned earlier about an Archon shard. This is an Archon shard. This is, you can do it in addition, but you can also do it as an alternative. Like, say you can't do Archon Hunt, so you don't like doing Archon Hunt. Well, for 30,000 standing and the longer deal rank 5, you can once per week get an additional Archon shard from Bird 3. Now, it won't always be the same Archon shard that the Archon Hunt has, but it does seem to work out that way a good amount of time, I would say, if I'm being perfectly honest. But wait, there's more. If we come over here to Necroloid, we can see that the individual parameters, we can see these are the challenges that we can just turn on if we so wish to get extra resources and what have you. And these are the missions for the week. That's a deep Archimedea, but this isn't the only Archimedea in town. If we go over to the parallel town, which has the construct of a mall where it is the year 1999 for all of eternity, and fast travel to Kaya, we would see that deep Archimedea is not the only option after all, and Temporal Archimedea is the option that she has for you. There are different parameters, yet again, different challenges that you can turn on or off, and these are the missions for her. This is where you fight that giant tank. Yeah, this is the tank dude. Yeah, and these are the rewards. So yeah, definitely keep in mind that that is also an option. Feel free to let me know if you guys even do Deep Archimedea. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, feel free to check out my Kirby game, what I thought of my Kirby game. And, if you want to check out that live stream as well, it's at a VOD on YouTube. Vamp Plays is the channel. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in the future. Later.